Yeah, we back. Now, today's video is going to be a follow-up video to one I dropped last night entitled 4 French Spies Arrested in Burkina Faso. And in that video, I was giving my commentary on a recent story, a recent headline that came out in the news where 4 French officials, 4 French civil servants who are associated with the DGSE, which is the French equivalent of the CIA, they were detained and are currently sitting in a West African prison in the capital of Burkina Faso on charges of espionage. Now, what is espionage? To put it simple and plain, espionage is the practice of secretly gathering information on a foreign country, typically without their consent. You know, in simple terms, man, it's basically when you are spying, when you're gathering intelligence, and that information could be political intelligence, militaristic intelligence, economic intelligence, but it's basically about gathering information, especially on a nation that you would deem to be adversarial or to be an enemy. And in that video, I had mentioned, when it comes to the Frenchmen, when it comes to the Europeans in general, when you are a student of history, you understand that these tactics, they don't surprise you because you understand that history repeats itself. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how back in 1814, about 209 years ago, the French did this exact same thing, bro. They sent spies down to the Kingdom of Haiti, and unfortunately for them, it did not end well for them. Rest in peace to them. So without wasting no time, man, we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about how back in 1814, the French had sent spies down to the Caribbean to gather intelligence on the Kingdom of Haiti. And we're going to talk about how they ended up in the same predicament they find themselves in today in Burkina Faso. They were arrested and they were detained and they were executed as well. Now, let's get into it. Take a look up on the screen. The 2 men that I got up on the screen to the left, we got King Henry Christophe, the King of Haiti, during this time back in 1814. And then to the right, I got Pierre Victor Malouet, the Minister of the Marines for the King of France. Now, without wasting no time, let's get into it. As you can see by the headline, now this is an article that I've translated from French to English, so the grammar might not all the way connect, but anyways, it says, minutes of the interrogations of the French spy, Augustin Franco de Medina. In 1814, 10 years after Haiti's independence, King Louis XVIII had it in mind to regain control of Haiti, the former rebel colony. The Minister of the Colonies and the Navy, Mr. Malouet, sent a man named Franco Augustin, known as Medina, to the north of the country, which was led by King Henry Christophe to negotiate the return of this part of the territory to the French fold. At the same time, he sent Mr. Lavesse to President Alexander Pichon in the west and Mr. Draverman to the south to General Bourgella. Now, during this time, the nation was split in 2 separate governments. Following the assassination of Dessalines, General Henry Christophe took the northern territory for himself, and General Alexander Pichon took the southern territory for himself. Alexander Pichon's government was dominated by mulatto officers. King Henry Christophe's government was dominated by black men, black African men. Now, let's continue. A special military commission was created to try Mr. Medina, considered a spy by the northern authorities of Haiti. He was tried and shot for spying for France, in accordance with the laws of the Kingdom of His Majesty, King Henry I. In the south and the west, the envoys of the King of France were, on the other hand, sent back to their country. Now, I'm going to jump into one of my favorite books. I believe it's called King Henry Christophe and Thomas Clarkson, A Correspondence, that also goes in detail about this scenario and this subject. Take a look up on the screen. In November, the French commissioner, Augustin Franco de Medina, who had formerly been a plantation owner in Spanish Santo Domingo, left Jamaica for Monte Cristi, where he stopped to inspect his estates. When he crossed the border into Haiti, Christophe, having been forewarned, was ready for him. He was proclaimed to be a spy and his papers were seized. Thus, Christophe came into the possession of the secret instructions issued to the commissioners by the French cabinet and a full knowledge of the duplicity of the French. Medina was called before a military tribunal and interrogated. He not only confirmed the information in his instructions, but boldly revealed that plans were actually underway in France for the invasion of Haiti. He was found guilty of treason and then imprisoned. Now, unfortunately for Franco de Medina, he died in Haiti. His family never saw him again. They never even got the body back. Rest in peace to him. God rest his soul. It is what it is. But many people don't know that he was actually imprisoned in the Citadel. Yes, the Citadel, that legendary mountaintop fortress on a crazy mountain 3,000 feet up in the sky. Yeah, he was imprisoned in one of the many dungeons inside the Citadel. Rest in peace to him. As you can see, the Citadel looking beautiful, built by black men, constructed by black men. As you can see, the architectural genius of the black man. Yeah, and we had the white man locked up inside the Citadel. So, rest in peace once again to Augustin Franco de Medina. Like I always say, you should have stayed your ass at home, brother. You should have stayed your ass at home. Now, there have been many theories over the years that have been raised in terms of how did Franco de Medina die. Some historians say that he died by starvation. They just let him starve to death inside the citadel. Some people believe that he was shot and killed the same day. Some people believe that he was poisoned. Some people believe that he was tortured to death. You know, we don't really know, but bottom line is we know for a fact he did die inside the citadel. He did die inside the citadel. But hey, man, should have stayed your ass at home, brother. And unfortunately for the spies that are locked up in Burkina Faso, we don't know what their fate may be. They may suffer a similar fate. Now, anyway, let's continue. Many people don't know, but the French actually tried 2 different times to gather intelligence upon Christophe. After Franco de Medina got killed back in 1814, they sent another batch of ambassadors over in 1816. And this time, Christophe didn't even open negotiations. He didn't even open negotiations. He was like, listen, I don't want to hear shit they got to say. The door is closed upon any negotiations with the French. And take a look up on the screen. Enraged at this new affront, Christophe issued a declaration on November 20th, 1816, asserting that he would not negotiate with France on any other footing than that of power with power, sovereign with sovereign, and that the preliminary basis of negotiation must be a recognition of the independence of Haiti. Now, a while back, about a year ago, when I first started my YouTube channel, I did a video discussing this very incident. Now, back then, obviously, I had like, 100 subscribers, so that video, it got like 200 views. It ain't get no views. So I'm gonna actually play a clip from one of the videos where I spoke about the French agent, the French spy, Franco de Medina, actually going to Haiti and getting captured and getting assassinated. And I actually had a newspaper article from back in, what was the year? November 19th, 1814, in the Royal Gazette of Haiti, which was the national newspaper of Haiti during that time for the Kingdom of Haiti, the government of King Henry Christophe. And I'm actually gonna play a clip where I was reading that article from 209 years ago. And yeah, it talks about this very incident. So I'm not wasting no time. Let's jump into it. I'll be right back. The article goes on to say, Augustin Franco de Medina also revealed in his interrogation secrets of the utmost importance for the Haitian people. When this traitor fell into our hands, the king was at the citadel with his royal family. His Majesty was busy giving his orders to hasten the great preparations for the defense of the kingdom. At the news of the arrest of this agent of the French, Christophe had went to the royal town of Sans-Souci, where he became aware of the documents and the interrogations of Franco de Medina. Christophe, having judged that their content was of interest to the salvation of the people, immediately ordered all the authorities of the kingdom to go to the capital to attend the Te Deum, which would be sung in thanksgiving to the Almighty for allowing the criminal plots of our implacable enemies to come to the light. Accordingly, the king, the queen, and the royal family went to the capital on the 16th. Christophe and his family were welcomed by the noise of the cannons and by the crowds of joy of the people, who had come in a crowd with leaves to meet them. On the 17th, the great dignitaries of the kingdom, with their wives, the civil, administrative, and military officers in full dress, went to the royal palace to accompany Christophe and the royal family at the Metropolitan Church. After the divine office, Christophe in person paraded the troops on the square and ordered the great maneuvers. The Prince Royal was at the head of the light horses of his corps. The people have seen with transports of joy this young prince having that martial air, which foreshadows to us that he will inherit the courage and valor of his illustrious father. The grand officers, colonels, generals, lieutenants, and the major commanders of the different corps of the troops of the military household of the king were in their places, according to the order of their number. At 4 o'clock, there was a national banquet for more than 1,000 seats, where the dignitaries and the principal authorities of the kingdom were assembled. The dinner was covered by the sounds of artillery, musical airs, and brass bands. In this moment, Christophe appeared in the hall of the feast with the royal family. All the guests rose up and welcomed him with acclamations of "Long live the king, long live the queen, long live the royal prince, long live the royal princesses, long live the royal family." After Christophe was seated, the king ordered the guests to resume their seats. Then his majesty raised the following toast: "To the glory of my brave and generous people." This toast was covered with applause and cries 1,000 times repeated of "Long live the king, long live freedom, long live independence, war to the death against the tyrants." Christophe, having risen from the table, was accompanied to his palace by the dignitaries and the authorities of the kingdom. An immense crowd of soldiers and the people followed the procession with the greatest enthusiasm. In the evening, the city was illuminated. There was a grand ball, which lasted until daylight, and private balls in the different quarters of the town. We have never seen so much ardor for the war. Every nation is animated by the same spirit and desires to measure itself again with the French. All are intimately convinced that these scoundrels are still coming to make us experience the dreadful tortures that we endured under the General Leclerc and Rochambeaus. The less farsighted know positively that the French want to plunge us back into the irons of servitude or destroy us. Convinced of this great truth, one hears from all sides only cries to arms. The old men, the women, the children even ask for arms. Already, the brave Haitians have provided themselves with long and large daggers and pikes to fight the French. We hope that this example will be followed throughout the kingdom. Only one cry is heard. Since the French have to come, let them come once. The more there are, the more we will kill. All right, we back. Now, I believe I have a playlist entitled Newspapers from the Haitian Revolution, where I go into a bunch of different articles that were in the national newspaper of Haiti, the Kingdom of Haiti, 200 years ago. A lot of interesting articles. Go check them out, man. Go check them out. But yeah, man. Yeah. Christophe, like I say, my favorite Haitian leader of all time. You know, my favorite of all time. Dessalines is my guy. Don't get it twisted. But Christophe, man, big up to the ancestor, man. Big up to the ancestor. Now, unfortunately, Christophe died in 1820. And when Christophe died, the French were finally able to get a regime in place, a government in place that was friendly to their interests, that was friendly to their economic objectives, which was the half-white sons of the Frenchmen. The half-white mulatto sons were able to get in power after Christophe died in 1820. And 5 years later, in 1825, they agreed to pay reparations to French slaveholders. Yes. That infamous deal where the Haitian government agreed to pay reparations to the French, that was actually during the regime when the half-white sons, the mulatto sons of the Frenchmen, were actually in power. So obviously, that was a family affair, right? The half-white sons paid reparations to their white fathers and their white uncles and their white granddads who lost their property during the war. So essentially, you could say it was somewhat of a family affair. You know, the sons paying the fathers back. And unfortunately, the black man, he took the biggest loss on that. The black man is the one that suffers, as always. But anyways, man, I just thought it was an interesting connection to make. You know, 200 years later, nothing has changed. The French still coming up with these old archaic tactics, trying to spy on the black man, you know, trying to infiltrate the black man. But you know, listen, keep fucking with the black man. Keep fucking with the black man. You saw what happened to Franco de Medina, and I guarantee this, a similar thing is probably going to happen to them French agents that are currently detained in Burkina Faso. So at the end of the day, man, this is why we study history. We study history because everything you see happening today, bro, it's not the first time it's happening. History repeats itself. It's been happening. It's been happening. Nothing should come as a surprise, man. Nothing should come as a surprise. You know, we know who our enemy is. We know how they act. We know how they move. You know, it is what it is, man. You got to stay on point. Anyway, it's your boy Nevercard. That's Celine back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App up on the screen, and I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.